Hey everybody, today we're going to talk to you about how to add some sources to your publication and newsletter AI. We're going to make sure that you guys have some content when you start out so you can start dragging and dropping your newsletter together. So from the dashboard, how you're going to add some sources is you're going to go in and you're going to go to the create button in the nav bar here. So just click that, make sure you click newsletter, and then you're going to actually just create a blank draft. This is going to bring you to the builder screen. You may or may not have sources set up already. Either way, this demo's going to teach you how to add new sources or create an entire content feed here. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the right-hand side of the page, and there's this orange button up here with the plus sign that says Add Feed. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click that. Now, what you're going to want to do is obviously name the feed, because that's going to allow you to be able to filter between different feeds, and it's going to give you a heads up on where that article, news source, or content is coming from. We have about 5 or 6 different ways, or I guess sources, that you can add content from. I'm going to show you each one very quickly today. So the first source is just your generic website, right? So any website that has news articles or blog content or anything like that, you can add to as an RSS feed into our content builder here. And so I'm just going to name this one AI News, because we're just using a test account to show you guys today. So this feed is called AI News, and then we're going to need to go grab the URL from the website that we want to start drawing content in from. So I'm going to go over to this website that I found that does AI News daily, and I am going to just make sure it has some news articles that are relevant and, you know, from the past month or so, and it does. So I'm going to add the URL, and I'm going to jump back into the newsletter builder feed, and I'm just going to paste it in there. So what you're going to do is you're going to add feed. And so this is going to go and validate that feed, ensure that it in fact does have an RSS feed that we can use and input. If it does, you'll see the feed created in the bottom right corner toast notification here. So what it's doing is it's actually syncing the articles and drawing them in so that they will actually show up in the right-hand side. If it has a lot of articles, it might take a little bit. So, and as you can see, it imported 2 new articles. If they don't automatically show up, don't worry, just do a hard refresh on your page, and then go back into your newsletter builder, and there they are. So it drew in a couple different articles for today. Keynote is that right now the RSS polling only goes back 24 hours. So if you do have a feed that's validated and nothing showed up, don't worry. It will pull in the next time a article or blog or content is posted on that website. It just didn't have anything in the past 24 hours. So we're going to now show you how to set up some social media feeds and also a Google search as well. So I'm going to do the Google search right now because that's probably my favorite one. It is the best to get the most up-to-date from any niche search that you might do typically to grab content for your industry or niche. So we're going to, again, hit add feed, bring this up, and I'm actually just going to go to Google, and I'm going to type in Google News. That's going to bring up this. You're going to want to hit this Google News button here, and it's going to bring up a completely different interface, which is the Google News interface. Google News has a really good way of actually bringing up trending content in whatever search you have. So I'm going to put in artificial intelligence as a topic. And so what this is going to do is going to bring up a whole bunch of different articles about artificial intelligence that have been trending on Google. And so I'm going to take that URL, this big, long, janky URL here, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste that in to the feed URL, and I'm just going to call this AI Google News. And then I'm going to hit add feed. And again, same thing. It's just going to validate the feed. It's going to bring in all of the articles, and then you're going to just do a refresh on the page and make sure that those articles came in, but it got validated, so we know that that source is hooked up now, and all future articles will then come into our content feed. Just going to give that another couple seconds. Awesome. As you can see, it imported 6 new articles. And again, we're just going to do that hard refresh and then come back into the builder. And there you go. All of the Google News feeds came in on the side here. Next way that we have to import content is we can now actually bring in public social media pages. So if you have a social media page that you follow for content, you can actually drag and drop or actually add that as a feed to your content feed over here, which is very unique to newsletterbuilder.ai. So again, we're going to just click add feed. And again, I'm going to reiterate this. It has to be a public feed. Any private pages on social media will definitely get blocked. It has to be a public page. So let's try an X page for right now. So again, I pre-populated this Grok page. It has a lot of good AI news about the Grok updates and whatnot. So I'm just going to copy the URL for the Grok X profile in the top, and I'm just going to paste that in, and I'm going to put in Grok X, and I'm going to add that feed. So right now, again, it's syncing the articles. Okay, so that's an interesting one, right? So imported 0 new articles, but feed synced. So obviously they hadn't posted anything in the last 24 hours. So it will work. It will just do any of the new articles that they post from this moment moving forward. So I'm going to go again and add another feed, and I'm going to do an Instagram feed this time. So I'm going to go over to this Instagram. We've got the Claude AI Instagram up here, which would be a great source for our niche. And I'm going to take the Instagram URL with the handle up here, and I'm just going to paste that in and put Claude IG and add the feed. So while this is syncing, I believe you're getting the point, but I just want to reiterate, like, we can get most URLs, anything with content on it. So we're talking YouTube, we're talking, Facebook. I'll add a Facebook page here. So we're just going to add the Google Facebook page here and add it in Google Facebook. But hands down, the best search for anything news related is that Google News search, because you can type in anything you want in this topic bar. You could type in Toronto restaurants news. It's going to give you all the Toronto restaurant news, and you're going to copy that URL and put it in here. So the search is saved. You no longer have to flip back and forth between Google. So we've done Facebook, Instagram, X, a news outlet website, and a Google news search. So I'm going to just hard refresh this again and show you exactly what happens when all of those are hooked up. So we're looking pretty good. We got the Claude Instagram post here that came in 3 o'clock yesterday. And so nothing happened with the Facebook pages and the X pages, but they are hooked up for sure. So this would be a good time to just kind of show you exactly how our drag and drop works to get the articles contents into your newsletter builder. So on the left-hand side over here, you have your AI blocks. So these blocks are AI powered. They have a prompt baked into the background of them. You can create new blocks on your own by hitting create new block. You just name the segment name. So whatever the section of the newsletter that you're working with, you put it here. So I'll just put the digest, and whatever header level that you would like it to come out with as the segment name, you just click that. So I'm going to do H2 for. You can actually also add images as your headers, so it will replace that text and use a logo or an image. And we have 2 different ways to actually add prompts in. So you can manually write a prompt, which is the way I do it. I've been doing prompts for a long time, so I know exactly how to write for it. Or you can do the AI assistant, where you can grab examples of your writing and put it in here and just analyze my style, and it will do its best to create a prompt for you based off of your pasted samples of your text. So for today, I'm just going to write my own AI prompt, but I'm actually going to have ChatGPT help me write this AI prompt, because I'm lazy, and it's easier when you get AI to write for AI. So we're going to go and we're going to open up ChatGPT, and actually I'm going to pause the video to sign in. Okay, I'm all signed into ChatGPT, and basically what I want to tell it is how I want the output of the prompt to work. So I am going to, and I speak out loud, so I apologize in advance for this, but this is just the way I operate. So I'm being very descriptive and detailed about the audience I'm trying to address, and I'm going to go down here and write exactly the structure and format that I want it to output. This is important. So I want it to start with a title with a relevant emoji. The title can be no longer than 5 words and needs to be bolded. Next, the content body should be 1 to 2 paragraphs, no longer than 100 words in total, and be descriptive about key points from the content article we give it. Now this part's important because every newsletter, or almost every newsletter, links out to the original source of content, and so we need to tell it how we want our CTA, our call to action, or our link to look. So there's a few different ways that people do this. Some people do like a read more link down at the bottom. A lot of people do what they call an inline embed URL. So I'm going to do that today. So I'm going to just type this out. Please embed the source article URL inline in the content where it makes sense. And let's make it flows with the content. Please provide, and this is huge when you're creating prompts, to be able to provide an example to give to our AI LLM. So please provide an example output and write me a descriptive prompt. There we go. So let's see what AI comes up with and gives us for this prompt. Okay, so I'm not going to read all this with you right now, but it did follow my rules. So this is the prompt that you are going to copy, this entire thing, and paste it into the AI prompt you have here. This is going to create your newsletter block that you'll be able to use over and over and over again. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to create this block, and as you can see, the digest just showed up here. You can delete it, or you can add it to the newsletter, or you can edit it later on, but I'm going to drag and drop this into our newsletter builder. And to test your prompts out, you're just going to drag any of the content in the right-hand feed here into that block. And what that's going to do is it's going to go and it's going to fetch all of the contents from that article. It's going to bring it back to our AI agent. It's going to read it, and then it's going to read your prompt. And then it's going to write some content based off of what the prompt is being told how to write. So there you go. It actually followed all the rules, and that's a pretty clean output. So again, it's that easy, guys. If you don't like it, you could just go back into edit here. You can erase any parts of this you don't want. You can change how it works. If you've been prompting already, you know exactly how this rolls. So you can change anything you'd like. If you don't like that it's called the digest, you just change the block name, and whatever you write will actually come up here. So you could call that community buzz or the lowdown or whatever the heck you want. That's actually what shows up in your output. So if you'd like to see how this would look in an email, you just hit preview. Okay, so there you go. You could actually copy and paste this right into Beehive if you want to, but that's how you create a prompt. So now one thing too that is nice is that we provided guardrails. So if you see this and you click and you hover over it, it's going to bring up the fact that they couldn't extract enough content from this article. So what you're probably going to want to do is manually paste this in from the original article. So again, we use this article. So we're going to open up this browser and see what went on here. So I'm going to actually just copy this URL, and I'm going to hover over this, and I'm going to click this link here. What that's going to do is it's going to bring me up 3 options. Because the AI didn't get enough content that it was happy with, so it's asking us to manually add some more content. So I'm going to try to go and actually scrape it again by just giving our AI the URL to see if give it one more shot to actually go and extract the content. So let's see what it comes up with here. So it extracted all the content and I just hit add. So that was good. That was a success. And there you go. So now it's actually taken all of the content, which you can see it's actually a little bit more detailed in this output. And it didn't give us a warning message. So that means it extracted all the article content, which is great. If that had to have not worked, you would have just had to add a manual entry. And this is pretty simple. Again, you want to put the URL from the original news source, and then you can just copy and paste all of the content, plop it into the content box area, add content, and it's going to do the same thing. So that's 2 or 3 different ways you can add content into the builder, into your different segments. Another way to actually add more content is, again, you can just start pasting URLs in here from different websites that you want to extract content from, and it'll start creating more newsletter articles with that extracted content. So you could add a whole bunch of different articles underneath the digest, and I'm just going to do a couple here. So what it's doing is you can drop a whole bunch in and it'll start working asynchronously. So everything is getting AI generated there. You can even start going down and start putting in more sections to your newsletter. So if you wanted to do like this morning brew AI style, you could do that. I'm going to drag and drop this article in here. And I guess since we're here, I'm just going to show you how to actually get the output into Beehive and make sure that your newsletter, your completed newsletter, is actually in Beehive. So here we go. Let's say this is done. You're happy with your newsletter. Everything's good to go. You just hit preview. Just gives you a bit of peace of mind to make sure everything kind of showed up the way you want it to, and then just hit next. In this screen, you're just going to hit generate, and this will give you a subject line and a preview text as well. It gives you 3 different options right underneath. You can pick one of the 3, and you can edit it if you want to, but I'm just going to click option 1 here. It's going to show up in your subject line here, and then you can save it and then continue. So from here, the easiest way and the way that I like to do it is to just copy the entire newsletter to your clipboard and then go into your Beehive draft or template and just paste it in there. And it will take all of the formatting from your Beehive template and use it and apply it to this raw text that you have here. So that's it, guys. That's basically the nuts and bolts of getting a newsletter done in Newsletter AI. If you're watching this, you're probably just onboarding. So if you have any questions about this entire process, or you're confused about creating prompts or getting your sources in, just email us at hello@newsletterbuilder.ai. I'm happy to help you out at any point. We can jump on a call. We can try to help you create some prompts or add some sources that you might not be getting. So yeah, hopefully this tool helps you save a lot of time in your process, and I will be dumping some more tutorial videos in the knowledge base later on this afternoon. So have a good day.